Hang on a second. This is cool. This is very cool. I love how this is going. I love that it was kind of like, hey, you know this song you love? Now look. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for another reaction video. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications and you're good to go. I've got something exciting for you guys. Most of you will know that I pretty much exclusively do first listens. This is not one of those times. Now, a lot of you will know that I have fallen head over heels for Spiritbox, and they recently signed with a label called Rise Records. The guys at Rise reached out to me and said that Spiritbox have done a collab on a song I've already done a reaction to called Holy Roller, and it features somebody named Ryo Kinoshita, and I believe he is a vocalist for a band called Crystal Lake. Now, this sparked my interest because a lot of you guys have been asking me to take a look at Crystal Lake, so I thought this might be the perfect opportunity to kind of get my gateway fix into that band and relive one of the songs that I love discovering on this channel. So, without further ado, Spiritbox Holy Roller featuring Ryo Kinoshita. Let's see what you got. Okay, so not only am I massively familiar with this song, not just because of the reaction, because it's been on my playlist ever since. I love it. It's ultra brutal, but I am picking up small things. You know, that guitar, if you hear in there, I'll go back just a bit so you can hear it again. There's a nice bend to it. Something I didn't pick up the first time, but I've been noticing it more and more the more I listen to this song. There's this nice bend and twist to that where it provides like a wobble in that distortion, and that adds like a level of heaviness that I didn't notice up front, and I think it's really smart. Ah, man, her voice is insane. She's such a special talent. I think the brutality that she can get, not a lot of singers can. And I'm not talking about male and female. That's out the window here. She is incredible. She's impossible. And I love how brutal her vocals can get. And the reason that it matches so well with the music is because she does something with her jaw where she's able to push it a bit lower down and get that kind of brutality and screams to come out of quite a close sounding mouth. And it's super, super brutal. And it matches the music. I think if you had a higher pitched scream on top of that, which isn't a problem, it's just a taste thing, I don't think you'd quite get that level of heavy, but she's killing it. Always killing it. Okay, I spoke about those digital effects the first time I listened to it, but there's something else happening there as well. There's this eerie synth piece in the background. In the background's probably not the right phrasing, sits more on top of the music, and that's just, you can do that by placing things a little further back or further forward. You do it with spatial effects, you can do it with volume levels, you can do it with just being smart in how you open up instruments and pan them. So there's a lot of ways to do that. It feels like it sits on top. It is massively uncomfortable, but that's purposeful and deliberate. So I did notice it the first time, but I'm picking up a lot more of its importance. It's like this siren sounding signal on top. That's alliteration for you. And it's working wonders because the music's heavy, the vocals are heavy, there are breaks in that, and I just think it adds a level of, like, this dynamic level of uncomfortability, which I'm starting to think is probably one of their trademarks. They do have a lot of that synth work in the back that has a tonal value because you can hear it switch, but it is supposed to make you feel a little uncomfortable. Love this video. Reminds me so much of Prodigy. Okay, so because the music's gone down a bit and they're building into that beginning piece that you heard in the intro, I think this is really cool to point this out. So back one more. When they go into that piece, which I say sounds a bit like Prodigy, it's got kind of those programmed drums, really cool. You're going to hear a lot of that synth work I'm talking to you about, but it feels at this moment like it's panned a bit right, and in the left there's like a fuzz, there's like this rumble that I can't shake. And again, I think there's a lot more going on to this music than meets the ear, if you will, on a first listen. I think there's a lot of smart placement, and you know, I don't want to be talking about stuff I've already done in terms of the first reaction, but I really like this because, one, I'm picking up certain things that I didn't pick up the first time, and I can't wait to hear the other vocal come in. If it has come in, I've missed it. It may be an underlying layer, but I'm assuming there's going to be a standout moment where we get to hear at least a taster for Crystal Lake, and I'm super jacked. The video is cool. Similar concept, but it's animated. I like the animated illustrated stuff. I think it's awesome, and it's done really well with this. There's definitely work done on this mix that I don't remember being in the first song. It's cool. I like it a lot. It feels like there's a lot more care being given to some of the EQ work, and I feel like they probably had to rework a lot of it just to give it that remixed feel. It's awesome. You know, when you listen to a song a lot, and when I like a song, I do listen to it a lot, you almost get too comfortable with things, which is why I got excited when they said that this is kind of a collab remix. And again, I normally do first listens, but I think there's definitely a point to re-listening to songs, and also re-listening to songs that have been reinvented like this. No. Easy, buddy. Easy. I definitely knew that wasn't her, but damn. I know nothing about Crystal Lake. I know nothing. All I know is you guys want me to react to them. I assumed he was going to have a heavy vocal because it's on this song, and this song is exclusively screaming, and brutally so. Sure. Okay, so much of this wasn't in the first song. I mean, you can hear it right from the beginning that there's been certain tweaks and care given. Even structurally, there's a couple of things happening, but there's so much of these background noises, environmental sounds, all these other things I spoke about earlier are much more apparent, and especially now. And I guess that really does make sense because, you know, I wanted to re-listen to the song, but I didn't want it to be just the same song again, and it isn't. It's close enough to its core and its essence that makes me love it, because I already do. This guy's got some pipes, man. Hang on a second. This is cool. This is very cool. I love how this is going. I love that it was kind of like, hey, you know this song you love? Now look. And that is special. I think that's where songs like this can succeed and be reinvented. You need, if you're going to sing alongside Courtney or scream alongside Courtney, you better know what you're doing, man. And if you're going to get on a song like Holy Roller, you better have the pipes. And he's able to get that brutal scream that she does, the low one, but it's a very different texture. There's almost that like squeal to it where he's keeping the squeal's not probably the right word, but it's this growl where he's able to kind of slow down the fuzz of that vocal where you can almost hear it rolling. And then you get that really specific, uncomfortable, low growl. And I think it's awesome. I think when the song starts and when you know it as well as I do, you think, well, how can it get any heavier? Well, there you go. That's how. One more thing to mention. I just if Crystal Lake is anything like what he's doing here, we're in for a long ride. Pack a lunch because I'm gonna get started on them soon. I promise you that. Something that I haven't pointed out before is one of the reasons I love this guitar riff. Forget the bend, forget all that stuff. It's the syncopation to it, because there's a lot of following the beat and chasing the beats. Excuse the pun. I am also a chase. The way that you can play 4/4 and you can play on the beat, right? And if you're going to slow that down, or you're going to delay that hit, or you're going to bring it in early, then you either have to slow down or you have to catch up to the beat, which is where you get that dun 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 dun. It's almost like it's trying to find itself again, but you never lose the rhythm, you never lose the tempo and the melody, and they do a good enough job of instilling that in you in the beginning of the song, where that riff is kind of the standout feature with no vocal on top to kind of make it fuzzy. It's really smart, especially when you have vocals that are stretched out like this. The phrasing isn't quick, the music is. There, I need to hear that again. It's this, like, you talk about pig squeals and there's all these kind of different terminologies. That's much higher, but he's doing this low growl that you hear in a lot of really talented vocalists who know exactly how to get, it's the equivalent of someone who sings being able to control vibrato and go into a head notes or a chest register. And it's just understanding that screams can be different things. And if you're good enough, you can glide between them without doing damage to your vocal cords. And you can just make it sound heavy as hell. That's insane. That's insane. Again, I wouldn't be pausing as much as I usually do, which is a kind of a trademark by now, but I just really wanted to enjoy that song again. I wanted to hear the inputs, hear how they've changed it and kind of remixed it and evolved it. And I did have a fear when it started that maybe it wasn't going to be different enough. That quickly went out the window. Didn't even take half the song for that to kick in. And not just when his vocals came in, there were certain things they were doing that aren't necessarily new, but they were positioned in a different way, or they were placed in a different way, which made it easier to listen to. Again, I listen to the song quite often. I listen to it when I go running, so I'm familiar. And you almost think to yourself, did I hear something new? Is it really new? Am I trying to kind of think and force that? But it became very clear that this was purposeful. And what a song for this collab to happen on. I don't know how it happened. I'd love to know who reached out to who, but what I can tell you is Crystal Lake is coming up in a big way. Big fan of that. Really enjoyed it. Nice throwback for me as well. And I hope you guys liked it too. Until the next one, please be safe, be nice to each other, and have a damn good day.